So last time we talked about number lines and how they can help us write addition and subtraction problems. And today we're going to talk about number bonds and what a number bond is and how we can use them to help us represent our numbers. So a number bond is something that we can use to help us break apart a number into pieces. And it's a picture that we can draw that will help us look at a number and break it into pieces. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So this is what a number bond looks like. You have a top circle, and then that circle is broken up into two other circles. And then you have these lines that show that these bottom ones, this circle and this circle, are the parts for this one. So the one on the top, this is called the whole because it has all of the number that we're going to use. And I'm going to show you what that means in a little bit. But this is called the whole. And these two bottom parts, they're called the parts. So for each number bond, it has one whole and two parts. And so you can think about it as, say you are the whole and you have some candies that you want to give to your friends. And so you're the whole, this is you, and then your two friends that you're giving your candy to, they're the parts. And we'll see how that works in just a second. So this is our number bond, and if we fill it in, we can fill it in with some dots. And so this is my whole, right? This is how many I have all together. So let's go ahead and count how many I have all together. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have 3 red and 2 blue. So now I'm going to break up my 5 into 2 parts, my whole of 5 into 2 parts. I'm going to have my blue parts and my red parts. So I broke up my whole into 2 parts. So a part here and a part here. And you can see that when you put the 2 parts together, so if you count all the dots in the 2 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you should have the same number as in your whole. So we counted 5 dots in our whole, and when we counted our parts together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we counted 5 together in our parts. So however many you have in your whole should be how much your 2 parts add up to. And so you can think about this and use it to help you with addition. But we're going to look at our whole. So we said that our whole was 5 because we counted 5 dots in our whole circle. And then we're going to talk about each part. So in this part, our blue circle part, we have 1, 2 parts. So we have a part that's 2. And then in our next part, we can count our red circles, and we have 1, 2, 3 red circles. So this part has 3. So in this number bond, our whole has 5, and the 2 parts that it breaks into, we have 2 and 3. So when you have 5, you can break it up into 2 parts. So say we broke it up right here. We say we separate those 2 parts, and we have one side that has 2 and one side that has 3. So now we're going to look at how we can write some addition sentences. So we're going to figure out our whole and now figure out each part, and then we're going to see where we can put those numbers in an addition sentence. So let's start with our whole. So we're going to count our whole. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 8 in our whole. So I'm going to write the number 8 right here. Now I'm going to count how many in each part. So remember, this is our whole, and each of these is a part. So this is our whole, and each of these, is a part. So now I'm going to count this part first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have a part that has 6 in it. And then we have a part right here that has 1, 2. So in our whole, we have 8. And then our two parts are 6 and 2. So this might look a little familiar. You might be thinking about some of the addition sentences that we've been writing, and you might have seen this one before. So what we do in addition sentences is we put two parts together. Part plus part equals a whole. So this is how we can write our addition sentences. A part plus a part equals a whole. So our whole is 8. So we know our whole for our addition sentence is going to be 8. And then we can put our parts in any place where it says part. So in our first addition sentence, I'm going to start with this part. So 6 plus this part, 2, equals 8. And for this next addition sentence, I'm going to start with my 2, my part of 2, and then add my part of 6, and my whole should still be the same. So it should still be 8. So 6 plus 2 equals 8, and 2 plus 6 equals 8. So that is how we can use a number bond picture to help us write an addition sentence. So now we're going to practice it again, looking at our whole and our two parts, and then writing an addition sentence. So let's start with each part first this time. So let's count our blue part first. We have 1, 2, 3. And let's count our red part. 1, 2, 3. So our parts are 3 and 3, and our whole is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So remember how we talked about this one is our whole. Oops. This one is our whole. And then these are our two parts. So parts. And now we're going to write our addition sentence. So we talked about in the last slide how each part is one number in our addition sentence. So our part plus our part is equal to our whole. So we're joining, think about we're joining our parts together to make a whole. So like when you're building something, so if you've ever played with Legos before, then you have a bunch of pieces, right? And you put all those pieces together to make something that's whole. So you might build a car or a house or a spaceship, whatever you're trying to build with your Legos, you have to put all the pieces together, all the parts together to make a whole, to make something new. So think of it like that. So we have our 3 plus our 3 part, we have a whole of 6. And so if this is our blue and this is our red, we can write the same sentence, 3 plus 3 equals 6, because it's the same number. 3 is the same number, so it doesn't change our sentence when we switch our parts. Now we're going to try something a little bit different. So this time we have each part and we need to figure out what the whole is. So we're going to start by counting how many we have in each part. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in one part, and 1, 2 in another part. So now we need to put our two parts together to make a whole. So we have a part of 7 and a part of 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 7 first. I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I'm going to draw 2. 1, 2. And now I'm going to count them all together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So when I put them together, when I put my 7 and my 2 together, I get 9. So this is how you can use a number bond to help you figure out what happens when you join your two parts together, when you're adding your two parts together. So once again, we're going to do part plus part equals our whole. So our part is 7 plus a part of 2, and we said that 7 plus 2, if we put them all together and count them, that we get 9. So our whole is 9. And then we can switch our parts and write another sentence. We can say 2 plus 7 equals 9. So we're going to try that one more time, just for a little more practice. So we have our two parts, our part and our part, and we are trying to figure out our whole. We don't know what our whole is, so we're trying to figure that out. So let's count each part. So we have our blue part, 1, 2, 3 in our blue part, and then we have 1 in our red part. So we have a part that's 3 and a part that's 1. And so when we put them together, we're going to draw 1, 2, 3 for our first part, and then we're going to draw 1 for our next part, and then we're going to count them all together. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 all together. So 4 is our whole. And now we can write some addition sentences to explain this picture. So if we have our part plus our part equals our whole, then we can say that 3 plus 1 equals 4. Or we can say 1 plus 3 equals 4, because it doesn't matter which part you start with when you're writing your addition sentences. So next time, what we're going to talk about is how we can use number bonds to write subtraction sentences.